I feel pretty confident in saying that for everyone watching this, there is a Fire Emblem character of the same age. Like 90% of all characters in the series fall in between the ages of 10 and 30, with still enough above that to cover most ages there as well. And while that may seem like a fairly normal spread, especially for a game series revolving around war, where the young fight the battles of the old, the fact is that Fire Emblem has a really strange relationship with character age. From the bizarre, to the cool, to the illegal, allow me to take you on a trip through the wacky world of Fire Emblem character ages. Before we zoom in on individual characters though, we need to look at the series at large, which has a weird history concerning canon character ages. In the very beginning, this stuff wasn't consistently covered, but at least we did get some ages here and there. We know a few from the Arcania games, a handful from Gaiden, and then a pretty decent amount from Genealogy of the Holy War and Phrasia. We know a whole lot more about Elibe characters from Binding and Blazing Blade, and although most are estimates, there are still enough confirmed ones to be satisfying. After this, however, we enter a drought. We only know the ages of Dosla and Myrrh in Sacred Stones, thanks to supports, while the two Dawn games also kept the numbers low. For Awakening, we only have rough estimations for Chrom, Lissa and Emerin, while we know exactly 0 ages from Fates, the only game in the series this applies to. However, after Fates, we would enter the Golden Age. Shadows of Valentia has ages for many characters unused in the game's data, and the same goes for Engage. And Free Houses just gives us all the information outright, even adding Rodrigue, Holst and Monica to the list for Free Hopes. Point being, for a large part of the series' life, up until even rather recent, intelligent systems didn't want us to know too much about our units' ages. Maybe the idea behind it was to keep up the mystery, allow players to make up their own image of how old these characters are in their head. I could definitely see the benefits to that, especially considering some of the ages IS did confirm are a little odd to say the least. Let's start in Elibe with the Blazing Blade, seeing as that is the first game in the timeline here. Because there are exactly 20 years between Blazing and Binding Blade, characters that appear in both titles like Zephiel, Guinevere, Carol and Bartre are easy to place. Some characters here that may be younger than you'd initially think are Guy, Eric and Rebecca, who are all only 15. I also always pictured Pent and Louise to be older than the somewhere in their 20s, that's the official ruling. Most interesting here though are the Lords, especially Lyn. She is, as far as I know, the only character who ever had her age changed during localization, and not in an insignificant way either. In the Japanese original, she is 15, and in the Western release, she is aged up to 18, which means that while she's the youngest lord in the game in Japan, she's the oldest in the West. Hector and Eliwood are both 17 after all, which is honestly a little younger than I pictured, especially for Hector. It also means they are both in their late 30s by the time their kids save the region, with Roy and Lelina both being 15 during the events of Binding Blade. Their army has the oldest average age in the series, partly because of a lot of 20-somethings, but also because of 2 of the oldest characters in series history. Not counting funny dragon business, Nime and Yoder are both top 3 oldest Fire Emblem characters, being in their 70s. Noma, age 71, completes the trio. His game, Shadows of Valentia, also has a relatively old average age for a Fire Emblem game, with several characters who are definitely not aged what I had pictured them as. Atlas is an absolute mountain of a man, but he's only 20, while Python and Forsyth feel pretty young to me, but they're already 25. Furthermore, there are nearly 10 years between the siblings Clive and Claire, and Lufier and Delphia, which I definitely hadn't clocked. Zeke, 29, is also in a relationship with Tatiana, 21, which may not be illegal, but it's pushing it on the half your age plus 7 scale. Celica and Alm do much better in that regard, as they're both the same age, 17. Free Houses is the only game that gives us all access to the characters' ages, so repeating what you can just find in-game is not really exciting. So I want to dig a little deeper. For example, one character who hides their age in the game is Manuela, who says it's a secret. However, the game files reveal she is 34 pre-time skip and 39 post. What's also interesting is the weird balance between student and faculty ages. Byleth is only 21, which is barely any older than his students, but what I never realized is that the same actually applies to Yuritsa as well. It's not exactly that hard to realize, seeing as he's Mercedes' younger brother, but I never really connected the dots that he's not any older than Byleth is. While that of course then means Mercedes is possibly older than her professor, Balthus has an even weirder situation. He's 26, which is not only older than Byleth and Yaritza, but also Shamir. He's also led to believe he's the same age as Sedith, and only 1 year younger than Catherine. While a lot, and I mean a lot, has been said about the weird and borderline illegal implications of Byleth's age compared to his students, and the possibility to romance them despite not only the age gap, but also the power imbalance, there is one even weirder relationship that has flown under the radar in Fodlan. And let's just say, age gaps run in the family. Depending on what paths of free houses and hopes you've played, you may have completely missed this, but Jeralt is not the 40-year-old he appears to be. When he actually was 40 years old, he was hired as an escort, a military one, just so we're clear, for Rhea, during which there was an attack on her life. Jeralt took the fatal blow to save her, after which Rhea healed him with her own blood. This gave Jeralt the crest of Ceros, and lengthened his life. Now, when did this happen? Oh, just a casual 300 years ago. Let me say that again. Jeralt is over 300 years old. That's older than the Leicester Alliance. By the time he met Citri, he was around 320 years old, while Citri, as revealed by her gravestone, was 20. He was a whopping 300 years her senior. Honestly, a 40-year-old dating a 20-year-old is already weird to begin with, but 340. That's breaking the half your age plus 7 rule by more than a human life. Jeralt can consider himself very lucky this information is well hidden in the game, otherwise he might have been catching the flack his child has been getting all these years. And of course you cannot make a video talking about character ages in Fire Emblem without talking about Engage. I think most of you are aware about the bizarre data mined ages in this game, so I'll keep the highlights short. Saphir, 35, around the same age as Manuela. Vander, 45, around the same age as Murdoch and Carol in Binding Blade. Alir, only 1,000 years older than most characters they can romance. Jeralt would be proud. I also definitely didn't have Zelkoth and Kagetsu down as some of the oldest royals or retainers. They definitely don't feel like they're 10 years to seniors of Chloe or Fogado. And some of these ages are so utterly bizarre that I'm honestly doubtful they are actually supposed to be canon, even if it seems like everyone has adopted them as truth, me included. I mean, they are only in the game files after all, and not the actual game itself, so we cannot say for certain the developers consider them to be correct and canon. That said, one I do believe is correct is Jean, who is then the youngest character in series history, being only 10, 1 year younger than this game's incarnation of Anna. However, series creator and mind control enthusiast Shozu Kaga did say that in his dream scenario of genealogy of the Holy War, whatever that means, Kuiper is also 10. However, this is currently not canon, meaning Jean is the dubious title holder of youngest child soldier in Fire Emblem history. Other confirmed kids we're sending to war include Sarah from Phrasia, who's 12, and Sanaki from Radiant Dawn, who's 13. And if you want to get real technical about it, the child units from Fates are only like a few weeks old by the time they leave whatever the Deep Realms is. But the less said about that, the better. It's the centuries-old dragon looking like a kid trope in reverse, and both are something I don't want to see ever again. But enough about me. What do you consider some of the weirdest character ages in Fire Emblem? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel to stay updated on all my future Fire Emblem content coming up. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.